All right, we're going to be graphing lines, graphing these equations. I'm sorry, they're going to turn out to be lines. We're going to graph these equations by by making tables and plotting points. By the way, up here it says from -8 to 8. Cross that out. I'm going to have you set them up specifically for each one. Okay? So for this table here, I'm going to go through each table right now and tell you how to set them up. X and Y. All right, for your X values, I want you to use -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. All right, for over here, set up our table. X, Y. I want you to use, let's see, -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. Going down here, let's see, we'll set ourselves up. X and Y. Let's go -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. After that, we'll run out of space. Oh, let's put a 4 in there. There we go, 4. All right, next. Let's go. Here's our table. Here's our X. Here's our Y. We're going to go see negative. How about -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. On the back side, we got our table here. Let's go, let's see, X and Y. Let's go -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, and 3. Over here, we're going to go, let's see, X and Y. Let's say -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, and 3. Right, next up here, let's go make our table. X and Y. Let's go -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And for this last one, we need a lot of space here. We've got X and Y. I want you to go -5, -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. I'm going to go back here, give you some help filling them out. For number 1, we just go, well, -3, I substitute -3 for X. -3 times 1/3. Well, 3 times 1/3 would be 3/3, which is 1. But it's going to be a -1 because it's a -3. So -1 plus 2 is, I'm going to write this out actually. Okay, -1 plus 2 is +1. Okay. Then -2 times 1/3 is actually -2/3. I'm going to write over here 2 equals 6/3. When you're going to need to remember that. So let's see, 2 times 1/3 is 2/3. But that's going to be a -2/3 plus 6/3. So -2 plus 6 is 4. So this is going to be a +4/3. -1, and you can just use your calculator for this, by the way, especially if you have a calculator that does fractions. I'm just working it out by hand. Let's see, -1 times 1/3 is just -1/3 plus 6/3 is 5/3. 0 times anything is 0 plus 2 is 2. 1 times 1/3 is 1/3 plus 6/3 is 7/3. And let's see, 2 times 1/3 is 2/3 plus 6/3 is 8/3. And 3 times 1/3 is 3/3, which is 1 plus 2 is 3. And notice there's a pattern here if you look carefully. Remember that 1 is 3/3, 2 is 6/3, and 3 is 9/3. Okay. Next door here, this one's just a little more straightforward because there's no fractions. So we have, let's see, -2, replace the x with a -2. -2 times -6 is 12, minus 1 is 11. Negative 1 times negative 6 is positive 6. Minus 1 is 5. And 0 times anything is 0. Minus 1, negative 1. 1 times negative 6 is negative 6. Minus 1 is negative 7. Again, you go ahead and use your calculator for this. 2 times negative 6 is negative 12. Minus 1 is negative 13. There you go. This one here, this one should be fairly easy for you. This one here, again, fairly easy. Just remember, got negatives here. Negative times a negative is a positive, so when you substitute a negative number for x, you get a positive in the end. On the back side, this one should be fairly straightforward. Again, just remember, negative times a negative is a positive. Here, again, negative times a negative is a positive. Over here, 1/4. All right, remember that 1 equals 4/4. So I'll do just a couple of these for you. Let's see, how about this one? I'll do negative 3. Negative 3, substitute negative 3 for x, and I get negative 3 times 1/4 is, so 1/4 times 3 would be 3/4. Because this is negative and that's negative, ends up being a positive, so that's 3/4 plus another 4/4 is 7/4. And you need to have your answers as fractions. Let's do another one down here. I'll do this 2 here. Okay. 2, positive 2, substitute positive 2 for x. I have 1/4 times 2 is going to be 2/4. And then, of course, that's a negative 2/4, because it's a negative out there. So negative 2/4 plus an additional 4/4. So negative 2/4 plus 4/4 is going to give us a positive 2/4. Which, by the way, is 1/2. Okay? But sometimes it's useful to keep this original here as a reminder, because you're going to see a pattern shape up there. Over here, I'll do, say, negative 4. This one's a little bit easier. Negative 4. Forget about the negative for a second. 4 times 1/5. 1/5 times 4 is 4/5. Now, since both of these are negative, it's going to be positive. 4/5. Let's see, then down here, we're going to have, let's see, say, for example, I'll do the 3. All right, positive 3. Well, 1/5, if I substitute 3 for x, 1/5 times 3 is just 3/5. And because there's a negative out front, that's a negative 3/5. So down here, negative 3/5. And again, you should see a pattern shape up here. Then we're going to go ahead and plot our points. I'll get some graph paper. All right, back on the front side here, we're going to go ahead and plot these points on grid paper. And notice some of these are going to be difficult to graph, like 4/3, 5/3. That's going to be difficult for us to graph, so we're only going to plot whole number coordinates. So negative 3, positive 1, 0, 2, and down here, 3, 3. So let's go ahead and graph those. All right, on our grid paper, by the way, this is a 12 by 12 grid, so we're just going to put our axes right down the middle. That should work for all of these. All right, so we're going to plot negative 3, positive 1, negative 3, positive 1. We're going to plot 0, 2. So that's 0, 2. And then we're going to plot our third point, which is 3, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And you can see, notice a pattern here. We can continue the pattern, over 3 up 1, over 3 up 1, over 3 up 1. Put another point here. And then if we were to go down 1, back 3, we'll go right here. And then we're just going to draw a line right through the middle. Okay. For the other ones, it's pretty straightforward. You're not going to be able to plot all these points. 11 is off the grid. 5 is on the grid. Right? Negative 7 is off the grid, so you might have to do a little, use a ruler here. You're only going to have 2 points you can plot. All right, let's see. On the back side here, when you do these 2 fractional ones down here, again, don't try to plot any of the points that are whole numbers. Only plot the points, or don't plot the points that are fractions. Only plot the points that are whole numbers. Okay? All right, go ahead. Good luck.